The world of reality TV has always thrived on chaos. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared fans for the storm that erupted when whispers began swirling about a shocking clash between Sierra and Yandy. The blogs lit up, timelines exploded, and the streets buzzed with stories too wild to ignore. They said cameras were rolling, and if even half of what insiders claimed was true. This wasn't just drama, it was an earthquake shaking the entire foundation of love and hip-hop. The night had started out like any other filming session, or so producers wanted everyone to believe. The cast gathered under the hot studio lights, the air heavy with expectation. But anyone who had been paying attention knew the tension between Sierra and Yandy had been building for months. Their friendship fraying piece by piece under the weight of rumors, shade, and quiet resentment. When Yandy walked into the room, she carried herself with the kind of calm but icy confidence that made everyone sit up straighter. It wasn't loud or dramatic, it was subtle but undeniable. That presence said, "I am not here to play games." Sierra, on the other hand, came in sharp, her voice laced with attitude from the moment she opened her mouth. The shade wasn't direct, at first just a sarcastic laugh, an exaggerated eyebrow raise, a side comment that stung more than it soothed. But it was enough to let the room know that a storm was brewing. The cameras picked up everything, the little digs, the awkward glances, the subtle smirks, and then the temperature spiked. Yandy made a slick comment about loyalty, about how some people only pretend to be friends when it benefits them. Her tone was smooth but sharp, her words meant to cut without ever raising her voice. Sierra snapped, instantly, her voice slicing through the air like glass. "Girl, don't even start with me." She shot back, her finger wagging in the air. "If we're talking about fake loyalty, you should be the one explaining yourself." The room froze. Cast members shifted uncomfortably in their seats, suddenly hyper-aware of the cameras and the producers leaning in closer, because this wasn't just TV beef anymore. This was personal. Behind the scenes, there had been whispers, dangerous whispers about Mendices, about conversations that maybe crossed a line, about trust that maybe wasn't as solid as it looked. On Instagram, some said Sierra had been a little too close to him at certain events. Others swore it was all innocent, but whether it was truth, paranoia, or pure gossip, the effect was the same. The tension between these two women was about to boil over. "You always acting like you above everybody," Sierra barked, her hands flying with every word. "But, behind closed doors, girl, you messy as hell." Yandy's jaw tightened, her voice dropping low but sharp. "Say what you want about me, but keep my family's name out of your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know the pressure I deal with every single day." That one line shifted the energy of the entire room. Because when Yandy invoked her family, everyone knew what name she was dancing around, Mendices. And once his shadow entered the conversation, this wasn't just about friendship anymore, it was about pride, respect, and the image both women had worked so hard to protect. Producers leaned forward, their cameras capturing every micro-expression, every rising octave. You could feel it, the electric charge in the air. It was the kind of moment they lived for. The kind of raw chaos that couldn't be scripted no matter how hard they tried. Then Sierra leaned in close, her voice dropping into a near whisper that somehow carried across the room. "If your man really respected you, maybe he wouldn't be entertaining conversations with other women." The gasp was instant, sharp enough to split the air. Yandy's face went from icy calm to pure fire. In a single heartbeat, her chair scraped against the floor as she shot up, pointing straight at Sierra. "What did you just say to me?" The room erupted. Cast members shouted, some jumping to their feet, others frozen in disbelief. Security hesitated for a split second, unsure whether to intervene or let the cameras keep rolling. And in that tiny moment of hesitation, everything snapped. Sierra moved first. Blocking Yandy's path, she reached out, her fingers tangling in the lace front wig that framed Yandy's face. With one swift, shocking tug, she dragged her backward. Gasps, screams, chaos. The cameras caught it all. The scramble of bodies lunging to separate them, chairs screeching against the floor, cast members shouting, "Stop, stop." Security rushing, in too late to prevent the image that would set social media on fire. Sierra snatching Yandy's wig on camera, even as security pulled at her arms. Sierra's grip was iron. Yandy's voice pierced through the chaos. "Get her off me. She's lost her mind." The crew cut the audio feed, but insiders later whispered that those few minutes would go down as one of the most explosive altercations in love and hip-hop history. And just when it seemed like the chaos couldn't get worse, Someone from the crowd shouted Mendici's name. The mention was like gasoline on an open flame. Breathing hard, her chest heaving, Sierra snapped. "That's exactly why you pressed, because you know what I'm saying. Got some truth to it, Yandy." Face broke, her voice trembling with fury and pain. "Don't you dare bring my husband into this. You don't know the battles I fight every single day to protect my family. The room fell silent, heavy, thick, almost unbearable. Because everyone knew this wasn't reality TV anymore. This was raw. This was personal. This was war. The room was still buzzing after the wig snatch, a kind of stunned silence mixed with nervous whispers. Yandy was being escorted out by 2 security guards, her wig lopsided, her dignity wounded. Her eyes brimming with tears she refused to let fall on camera. She held her head low, her voice breaking as she muttered, "This is too far. This is not who I am." On the other side, Sierra was pacing like a caged lion, her chest rising and falling with every ragged breath. Friends tried to calm her, but she snapped at them, brushing their hands away. "No, don't tell me to calm down. She's been playing with me for months. Acting like she's better than everybody, like she's untouchable. Well, tonight, she found out different." Her voice trembled, not with fear, but with adrenaline that hadn't yet burned out. The producers exchanged frantic glances. They had gold on their cameras, but also a potential disaster on their hands. Too raw, too violent, too personal. Could they even air this? Would the network let them? Or would the footage be buried, whispered about online but never officially shown? Nobody knew yet. But one thing was certain. The damage was already done. The whispers would spread faster than fire. Backstage, Yandy collapsed into a chair, her hands clutching her head. A close friend tried to console her, but she could barely focus. "She humiliated me in front of everybody," she whispered. "And for what? For lies. For gossip. For her own jealousy." Her voice cracked, and for the first time, the strong, polished image cracked too. She looked vulnerable, human, broken, in a way that couldn't be disguised with designer clothes or perfect captions. Meanwhile, Sierra was venting to anyone who would listen. "Everybody wanna act like she's perfect. Like her marriage, perfect. Like her life, perfect. But I know things y'all don't even know yet. And if she keeps coming for me, I'm not holding back anymore." Her words were sharp, dripping with venom, but beneath them was something else, a dangerous confidence. The kind of confidence that made producers lean in closer, wondering what exactly she might reveal if pushed. The whispers spread beyond the set. Within hours, blogs had the story. Sierra drags Yandy by the wig in explosive love and hip-hop fight. Clips leaked grainy, shaky footage shot by someone in the crew, or maybe even a cast member who couldn't resist capturing history. Twitter lit up. Hashtags like #TeamSierra and #TeamYandy trended simultaneously, fans splitting into camps overnight. Some called Sierra out for crossing the line, for humiliating another black woman on camera. Others claimed Yandy had been hiding behind her image for too long, and that she deserved to be called out. But what really set the internet ablaze wasn't the fight itself, it was the mention of Mendici's. The idea that his name alone could spark such rage in Yandy, and such bold accusations from Sierra, was enough to make fans dig deeper. Every old photo, every comment, every interview clip where Sierra and Mendici's had been in the same room was suddenly under a microscope. A smile at a party. Maybe more. A laugh at a joke. Maybe a sign. The internet twisted every interaction into a breadcrumb leading to scandal. Yandy, back at home, tried to stay silent, but silence only fed the flames. Why doesn't she defend herself? Fans asked. Why doesn't she shut it down? Privately, she raged to her husband. Why do they always drag your name into this? Why do I have to fight for our image every single day? Mendicis.com, as ever, told her to let it roll off. But she couldn't. The humiliation still burned. The sting of being snatched and mocked replaying in her mind like a nightmare she couldn't wake up from. And while she battled her emotions, Sierra doubled down. On Instagram Live, she smirked into the camera, her voice filled with defiance. "People think I just snapped out of nowhere. But trust me, I had my reasons. I don't throw hands unless I'm pushed to the edge, and if folks want to keep testing me, maybe I should go ahead and drop some receipts." Thousands flooded the comments instantly, begging her to spill. Did she know something about Yandy and Mendici's that the world didn't? Or was she bluffing, using the chaos to elevate her own storyline? Nobody knew, but the suspense kept fans glued. By the next morning, The fight had gone from a shocking incident to a full-blown cultural event. Talk shows debated it. Podcasts dissected it. Gossip, blogs recycled every clip and every caption into endless theories. Was this real? Or was it staged? Was this years of tension exploding? Or producers stirring the pot for ratings? And most importantly, what did this mean for Yandy's marriage? Mendices himself finally spoke days later, his words subtle but loaded. People always want to twist things. I know where I stand, and I know who I stand with. It was vague, too vague. Instead of shutting down rumors, it fueled them. Why didn't he just deny it? Fans asked. Why leave it open-ended like that? His silence, his hesitation, his refusal to speak clearly, it was enough to convince half the internet that there was fire behind the smoke. Yandy, upon hearing his words, broke down to a friend. Why does he always sound so vague? I'm fighting for our family's image every single day, and he just gives them more to talk about. Her tears flowed freely this time, no cameras to hide from. It wasn't just about the fight anymore. It was about her marriage, her reputation, her very identity being dragged through the mud. On the other side, Sierra smirked. See. Even he didn't shut it down. Maybe I'm not so crazy after all. Her confidence only grew, her whispers turning into open threats. And fans. They couldn't look away.